Crimes committed by strangers? That's common. But crimes committed by family? Those hit differently. Because when danger comes from inside the house, from someone who has eaten at your table, someone you hugged, someone you trusted, it destroys something deeper than just safety. It destroys the idea that home is supposed to protect you. And this case from Indonesia feels exactly like that. A 60-year-old grandmother opened her front door to what looked like a normal family visit. Her former daughter-in-law smiled at her, shook her hand, even kissed it respectfully, like a loving child visiting an elder. Minutes later, she was beaten to death inside her own home. And what makes this story even colder is what happened afterward. The killers didn't run in panic. They didn't break down emotionally. They didn't hide in fear. They went partying at a nightclub. Honestly, that detail stayed with me more than the murder itself. Tonight, we are going to talk about a daughter-in-law who planned a murder. The Pekanbaru family betrayal case. Welcome to the podcast You Can't Unhear. This story begins with a woman named Anita Florence. She was only 21 years old when she married a man we'll call X back in 2022. The marriage seemed normal at first, but by 2023, Anita had already left her husband's home and started working as a cashier at a spa in Medan, North Sumatra. Now here's the important part. They weren't officially divorced. Her husband X was still financially supporting her. They still communicated regularly. From the outside, it probably looked like a troubled marriage going through a rough patch rather than a complete separation. But behind the scenes, Anita was already living another life. Without telling her husband, she secretly entered an unregistered marriage with another man named Slamet. And this is where the pressure starts building. Because whatever emotions existed between Anita and Slamet, love alone wasn't enough to sustain their reality. They were struggling financially. Bills, daily expenses, survival, all of it started weighing on them. And financial desperation has this dangerous way of reshaping morality. Not for everyone. But for some people, repeated stress slowly turns impossible thoughts into reasonable options. First, it becomes fantasy. Then, discussion. Then, planning. And eventually, action. That's what makes greed so dangerous. It rarely arrives loudly. It creeps in slowly until people start justifying things they once would have considered unthinkable. At some point, Anita began thinking about her first husband's family, specifically their money, their house, their valuables. And according to police investigations, that's when the robbery idea was born, not against strangers, but against her own in-laws. What people sometimes miss in cases like this is how betrayal itself becomes part of the violence. Because this wasn't random. Anita knew this family intimately. She knew their routines, their trust, their vulnerabilities. She knew exactly who would open the door for her without hesitation. That level of emotional exploitation feels incredibly cold. Anita eventually shared the robbery plan with Slamet. The idea seemed simple enough. Rob the family house and take valuables quickly before escaping back to Medan. But they quickly realized they needed help. So they recruited two more people. A 39-year-old man named Randy and a 22-year-old woman named Lizzie. 4 people, 1 target. And on April 25th, 2026, the group rented a black Daihatsu Xenia and began the long journey from Medan to Pekanbaru. That drive alone takes roughly 10 to 13 hours. Think about that for a second. That's not impulsive rage. That's commitment. Hours inside a car discussing possibilities, risks, escape routes, timing. Somewhere during that trip, the robbery plan evolved into something much darker. According to investigations, someone in the group suggested something horrifying. Why not just kill the grandmother? No witnesses. No resistance. No identification later. Just eliminate the problem completely. And this is another thing I think people underestimate about group crimes. Responsibility starts dissolving psychologically. When one disturbed person has a bad idea, sometimes another person normalizes it. Another person stays silent. Another person laughs nervously instead of objecting. And slowly, morality gets diluted across the group. It becomes, well, everyone already agreed. That's how normal people sometimes cross lines they never imagined crossing. By the time they reached Pekanbaru, the group checked into a hotel on Jalan Riau and began surveilling the victim's house. They watched, waited, observed. When their money started running out, they moved around between gas stations and nearby mosques while continuing surveillance. That part honestly paints such a grim image. 4 people lingering around a neighborhood, quietly waiting for the right moment to kill someone. Meanwhile, the victim had absolutely no idea. No sense of danger. No warning. And maybe the most heartbreaking part is this. The victim, identified as DDS, had once treated Anita kindly. Police later revealed that she was actually the person who helped introduce Anita to her son in the first place. She accepted her into the family. Even after marital issues started happening, she still cared about Anita. At one point, when Anita got sick, the older woman reportedly sent her money to help her. That's what makes this feel less like robbery and more like emotional attack. By April 29th, the group grew impatient. They needed confirmation about who was home. So Anita contacted her first husband, X. She told him she was in town with friends and wanted to meet. Now, according to police, X had special needs, which may explain why he trusted Anita so easily. He arrived on his motorcycle to meet them. And during casual conversation, they extracted the information they needed. Only his mother was home. The father was away. That was it. The moment they learned that, they moved immediately. No hesitation. No second thoughts. The 4 drove straight to the house. And this next part is so chilling because of how normal it began. Anita and Lizzie entered first, pretending to visit. Anita greeted her mother-in-law respectfully. She shook her hand, kissed her hand politely. Imagine being the victim in that moment. You see someone who used to be family, someone familiar, someone safe. There's no fear, no alarm. Then Slamet entered disguised as an online motorcycle taxi driver. He demanded 300,000 rupiah for a supposed package delivery ordered by one of the victim's children. But the grandmother refused. She insisted nobody ordered anything. And then, everything exploded into violence. Slamet pulled out a wooden beam and struck her. Again and again. 5 times. A 60-year-old woman, beaten to death inside her own kitchen. And according to reports, she died there on the spot. Imagine her confusion in those final seconds. It is just awful. Because unlike random attacks, the trail creates psychological shock too. Your brain probably struggles to process what's even happening. Why are they doing this to me? That question probably never even got answered. After murdering her, Slamet looked up and noticed a CCTV camera, and suddenly, panic. Because reality finally hit them. This wasn't fantasy anymore. This was murder. He immediately tried destroying the camera, apparently not realizing most modern CCTV systems back up footage elsewhere. Meanwhile, the others started looting the house. Jewelry, cash, phones, stuffing valuables into bags while the victim's body lay nearby. And then came one of the strangest moments in the entire case. The husband, X, unexpectedly returned on his motorcycle. The killers panicked. If he entered the house, everything was over. So Anita improvised instantly. She told him her friend Elizabeth needed a ride to Minas and asked if he could help. And heartbreakingly, he agreed. He unknowingly drove one of the people involved in his own mother's murder for nearly an hour and a half. That genuinely feels surreal. Imagine later discovering that while you were helping someone out of kindness, your mother was already dead behind you. I honestly can't imagine the psychological damage that realization must cause. After abandoning Elizabeth, the group regrouped and fled. And then they did something that shocked people across Indonesia. They went clubbing. After murdering a grandmother. After destroying a family. They celebrated. And psychologically, I think that tells you something important. That they had already detached themselves from the victim long before the murder happened. I can't comprehend with these guys. Seriously? This whole thing is just so fucked up. Meanwhile, the victim's husband eventually returned home after paying taxes. He noticed the door open. The house in chaos. Furniture disturbed. And deep down, he probably already knew something terrible had happened before even finding her. Then he discovered his wife lying face down in the kitchen, surrounded by blood. That image is devastating. Two elderly people who likely expected to spend old age peacefully together, suddenly torn apart by greed. And not by strangers, by someone they once treated like family. Neighbors later described the husband becoming hysterical, screaming for help. Police arrived quickly and began processing the scene. Thankfully for investigators, the CCTV system Slamet tried destroying had already captured critical evidence. The black rental car, movements around the house, timelines. The investigation moved fast. Within one day, police tracked Anita and Slamet to central Aceh. When officers attempted arrest, Slamet reportedly resisted and tried escaping. Police shot him in the leg. Soon after, Randy and Lizzie were also arrested in Binjai. And during interrogations, the full horror came out. Police learned this wasn't even the first crime against the family. Earlier in April 2026, Anita and Slamet had allegedly stolen 4 million rupiah from the same house. Investigators believe that earlier theft may have been the reason the family installed CCTV in the first place. This is tragic. The system meant to protect them came only after the danger had already entered their lives. Police also discovered another disturbing factor. All 4 suspects tested positive for ecstasy. Now, obviously, drugs alone do not create murderers. Millions of people use substances without becoming killers. But drugs can absolutely amplify recklessness, impulsivity, paranoia, emotional detachment, and distorted thinking. Combine that with greed, resentment, financial desperation, and group psychology. And you get catastrophe. Anita later claimed one of her motives was revenge because she felt controlled by her in-laws. But honestly, that explanation feels hollow. Because plenty of people have toxic family dynamics without orchestrating murder. What this case really feels like is a combination of resentment and entitlement. The belief that other people's lives existed to solve their financial problems. And that mindset is incredibly dangerous. What sticks with me most about this story isn't even the brutality. It's the betrayal. The victim showed kindness to Anita. She accepted her into the family, helped her, cared for her, and in return, Anita helped orchestrate her death. There's something deeply unsettling about how greed can completely erase gratitude. Now, all 4 suspects face severe charges, including premeditated murder and violent theft resulting in death. Indonesian authorities say they could face life imprisonment or even the death penalty. At just 21 and 22 years old, some of these perpetrators have effectively destroyed their entire futures. And one innocent grandmother lost her life in the process. A woman who opened her door thinking family had come to visit. Instead, death walked inside smiling. As always, stay safe out there, guys. You and your family. See you on the next episode of Podcast You Can't Unhear.